Fables, are you wearing the same shirt 3 days in a row? Yes, leave me alone. I've been going through some stuff. I haven't been home a lot. So get off my back, man. That's what I'm going to be saying to this shirt when it starts fusing with my skin. So the Act Man released a video about Mr. Beast. It's not looking good for Mr. Beast. It is titled. Let's check it out. I've already seen most of this because people won't stop posting videos every single day, and it's just been new stuff. Well, it's been calm for a while, but for a while it was new stuff every single day. Now it's new stuff every like 4 days.
I hired 100 child predators to work for my company, with the challenge being the last one to say something or do something inappropriate with a minor is gonna win $1 million. The other 99 contestants will take a seat with Chris Hansen. And we hired these people without doing any background checks on their criminal history.
You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Worst thing is, what if they did? What if they did do background checks? Or they didn't really need to do background checks because they knew who they were.
2024 has been an insane year for YouTuber exposés. It's like new accusations are dropping every few days like Major Orders and Helldivers 2. However, among all these allegations, none are more impactful than those against Mr. Beast and his crew, and the Mr. Beast Empire. You know, back in my day, the most subscribed YouTube channel would get in trouble for saying some bad words on a bridge.
What a fucking nick.
Now, being the most subscribed YouTuber means
I was there for that. I witnessed history on the bridge.
all eyes are on you. If you are not a pure soul who can ride the Nimbus, then chances are some of your past actions are going to come up to haunt you. Right now, Mr. Beast is facing some very serious accusations ranging from using fake illegal lotteries, exploiting children, mistreatment of employees, employing a person whom Chris Hansen would like to take a seat.
What are you doing? Making a mistake. Making a mistake.
And also a broader conspiracy to cover up any misconduct perpetuated by Mr. Beast Enterprises. While over the years people have speculated that Mr. Beast has had ulterior motives for helping people, none have really made a compelling argument or case for him exploiting people maliciously for personal gain.
Until now.
Mr. Beast has been able to avoid major damage to his public image and brand because of his generosity and positive impact he's had on the world.
If I donate to charity, people can't say I'm shitty. If I give this homeless guy 10K, what do you mean I'm a bad guy?
Yeah, I really don't like it when people donate to charity. Donate to charity. He made money on the videos. I don't like it when people show everyone that they did it, like, hey guys, I'm a good guy, check out all these cool things that I did. Even if you're saying, like, it's just to boost my videos, to make better videos, which that's bad. I mean, yeah, make some better videos, but like, at some point, it's getting out of hand, especially when you're at the top already. Start focusing on doing some actual good instead of pretending to do it.
And I think we'd all love to believe wholeheartedly the image Mr. Beast has for himself. And same with YouTube. What an amazing look it is for YouTube when the most popular guy...
Jacksepticeye said something really, really good about Mr. Beast. Not good about Mr. Beast. He didn't say something good about Mr. Beast. It was just good that he said it. Alright, now check this out.
Jack, would you say YouTube's changed for the worse? Yes. Now, Jack, I just know. Now, Jack, a completely unrelated question. Do you like Mr. Beast? No. Jack, do you think Mr. Beast ruined YouTube? Yes. Now, in all honesty, Jack, why? Because it became more about views, money, and popularity than it did about having fun. You just don't think you have fun
Here it comes.
Squid Games? You think you have fun riding on yachts?
Here it comes.
Wells in Africa? If he had fun doing those videos, they'd be longer.
Boom.
We'd see the fun. Ooh.
Boom. Yep, I agree. He'd be doing a series of like 4-hour videos if he was actually having fun doing this, instead of trying to get all these different videos out and doing multiple at the same time, trying to make the biggest, best videos to be the best YouTuber. He said it himself.
Is doing it all through charity, through being a genuinely good guy. But what's harder to accept is that maybe by watching and supporting Mr. Beast, We inadvertently helped to build a media empire that is based on exploitation, with charity as the cover story, allegedly. And again, I think it's important for me to share this kind of stuff with my audience, especially when it concerns the top creator on the platform, somebody who I personally used to look up to. The allegations against Mr. Beast and some of his crew are truly damning, and today we're going to dive into all of it. So why don't you have a seat?
Why don't you have a seat there and get comfortable for a minute?
Starting from the beginning of when this all first blew up, we actually have to go back 2 months, because the story around Ava Chris Tyson started to hit mainstream in July, but back on June 13th, 2 smaller channels each uploaded a video about Ava Chris Tyson. Ava Chris Tyson, of course, is one of the staples of the Mr. Beast crew. Prism42 posted a video titled "Chris Tyson Talked Inappropriately to a 13-Year-Old."
I've been knowing for years that Chris Tyson was a creep. I've been knowing for years that Mr. Beast was trying to be the most popular YouTuber and biggest, best YouTuber of all time. And absolute power corrupts, absolutely.
And in it, Prism prints out the logs and goes over the receipts like fucking Chris Hansen.
You know, I have the transcript.
These chat logs involve Tyson and Lava GS, someone who was 13, 14 at the time of many of these messages. So yeah, let's roll some clips.
He's asking you, Chris, does she know about your hentai addiction?
What?
Lava says, I'm your first Patreon big boy. Posted some fire nudes for you. Please no share. And this is someone that you're talking to that is 14 years old, that you know is 14.
What was your plan here with this 14-year-old boy?
I mean, we talked about sex and stuff like that, and then
Sure did.
So there's a lot of examples of Tyson sending winky faces, kissy faces, calling this 14-year-old daddy.
Yeah, don't be doing that.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Let's call this what it is. This is just flirting with a minor, okay? And look, Tyson might try and hide behind the "these were just edgy jokes" shield. That has rightfully protected people in the past, but that shield can't block this. If you're calling your homies daddy, you know, dicks out for the homies kind of vibe, that's fine if they're adults. It's not funny and it's not a joke when you're doing this to a minor, because it's the exact same behavior that groomers do.
Posted some fire nudes for you. Please no share. That is, you can't do that. And then to maintain a relationship until he turns 16. You tell me.
I don't want anything to do with adults that do that. I'm not going to be leaving nudes for my friends. That's weird. Even women who, like, Chris Tyson is a woman, apparently. By the way, somebody who is now a woman was sending this stuff to, this isn't, was this a dude? I don't know. I'm confused. I hate the world. I hate the world.
Tell me that's not grooming? That's grooming.
Me grooming children? That's just joking. I was only pretending to groom kids.
You're not a real predator.
No, sir.
Just a pretend predator.
And while the logs I've seen aren't as explicit as some of the stuff you see on To Catch a Predator, at best, we can say Ava Chris Tyson was flirting with a minor. They also met up in person. I think every 20-year-old knows it's not okay to talk to 14-year-olds like this, right? Remember when you went to a high school party and...
But, aren't you, like, if you're trans, aren't you always that gender that you have become? You were actually, if you're, like, let's say you were a man, became a woman, you believe that you've always been a woman, it's always been there, so that, is that why a lot of people don't care? It's because it's a woman? Oh.
If there were ever dudes in college there, you knew those guys were losers because it's
I'm gonna
like,
have an
why are they
aneurysm.
hanging out with us? It's not weird to have young fans that you interact with and respond to like fan mail. What is weird is having such a close, flirtatious friendship with a 14-year-old when you're 20 and you're also sharing hentai and other prawn in a private Discord server. A server which had several members that were minors, and those minors were mods. Mods who would have to check the NSFW channel. Ooh, yeah, sharing prawn with minors is illegal. Now, the person who was allegedly groomed, Lava GS, has publicly stated that everything reported.
It seems to me that Mr. Beast and all of his lackeys have been doing a lot of illegal stuff, and why hasn't anything been happening? Because there are blatant illegal things, like even if it's not enough to send anybody to prison, like they've done some stuff. The lottery stuff, the sharing nudes with minors stuff. Like, why has nothing happened?
In said video is a lie, and it was all edgy humor. He was never groomed and doesn't consider himself a victim. But after a few days, LavaGS would post again that the conversations he had with Chris never should have happened, and it was wrong. So quick shout out to Prism42 if you want to watch this video and any other videos I mentioned in this one. Links will be down in the description. However, that wasn't the end. Another user, Verdius, posted this video on June 13th, The Degenerate History of Ava Chris Tyson. This video goes in depth on a very hard-hitting point: Tyson's friendship with an artist known as Shadman. I had never heard of Shadman prior to this.
So I used to be ingrained in the Newgrounds culture, so I know who Shadman is. I know who that is pretty well. Friends with Chris O'Neill, Oni NG, and all of those guys, Psychic Pebbles, who I love, by the way. I love those guys. I think they've disconnected themselves from Shadman, probably friends with them in secret. I don't know. After some of the stuff that Shadman's done and said, don't know if they're going to be associating with him in any way. So who knows, man? Who knows? I know Chris O'Neill did associate with Shadman after this happened and knew about it. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I'm getting my timeline mixed up. I'm wrong sometimes.
This news, and I wish I never had. I'll spare you some of the more disturbing, grotesque details, but you see, Shadman spent a good chunk of his time creating inappropriate art of children.
What?
Sometimes they were fictional children, which is bad enough, but on more than one occasion...
Even as a child, I thought that stuff was creepy on Newgrounds and stuff. Like Teen Titans. I mean, we watched the booyah for the laughs, for the ha-has, but like, going back now, no thank you. Those were kids, but I was a kid at the time. But like Ego Raptor and all of those guys, Rubber Ninja, Rubber Ross now. Man, I miss those days.
He made art of other content creators who were minors, and very disturbing art.
Spaz Kid in 3D.
Portraying YouTubers' children. These illustrations go all the way back to 2016, so Tyson, being a fan of Shadman, he clearly knew the type of art Shadman made. At one point, Shadman literally posted a video on his YouTube channel titled, "I like to draw." Now, for most people, you're probably hearing some blaring sirens right now because I can't put enough red flags on screen to illustrate how disgusting this person is. I think we all understand that edgy jokes and humor was more prevalent back in the mid to late 2010s, but this does not fall under that category. You are commissioning art from somebody who draws, well, you know. So essentially, we have repeated behavior through Discord logs, archived tweets, Reddit comments, Snapchats, and deleted video clips that all show a clear pattern of behavior for Ava Chris Tyson. I think the nicest way to describe it is an unhealthy interest in the appearance of children.
Say that again.
So shout out to Verdius. He did a great job covering this stuff, and that's saying something given how disgusting the material he had to look through was. But it wasn't until a month later that this story really...
You want to know how I like children to look? There you go. That's probably what my kids will look like. Twins, just like that. Standing at the end of the hallway. Being creepy.
Really started to pick up steam. When Adrox uploaded his video, "This will make you hate Chris Tyson." But the degeneracy doesn't stop there. As people started looking into this, one user, Z Dragon, posted even more evidence against Tyson, including a clip from one of his old YouTube videos where he links Revenge Prawn in the description of the video. Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that?
But the link's in the description if you want to see them. I mean, I'm not endorsing people to go look at somebody else's private business, but I know that people might want to see them, so it's there if you want it.
What? I'm not endorsing you look at this stuff, but I am drawing your attention to it and making it readily available to you. Guys, Revenge Prawn, links in the description right down there. Put a whole bunch of, like, go down to the I'm not endorsing it, but if you go down to the description. So, like, how did you get away with this? That's what I'm very curious about.
How are they getting away with any of it? I mean, they kind of canceled themselves because really canceling is fake. You only cancel yourself by buying into it. So Ava Tyson canceled herself, and then no legal action has been done. Unless there is some legal action being done, and I just haven't heard about it. But I doubt it, man. I doubt it. Nothing happened with the Epstein stuff, so I don't think anything's gonna happen with this.
With more attention being brought to the story, more people started uploading screenshots and videos of Chris Snapchatting minors in a way that, inappropriate.
Naughty, naughty.
On July 23rd, Ava Chris Tyson responded to the accusations in a series of tweets. I'm also blocked by this person, and I have no idea why. I would like to apologize for any of my past behavior. If it hurt or offended anyone, it was not my intent. Seeing recent events, we've mutually decided it's best I permanently step away from all things Mr. Beast and social media to focus on my family and mental health. Yes, you have been neglecting your mental health for a very, very long time. I want to add I never groomed anyone.
Are you sure about that?
To lump these two factors together to create a narrative that my behavior extended beyond bad edgy jokes is disgusting and did not happen. In past years, I have learned that my old humor is not acceptable. I cannot change who I was, but I can continue to work on myself.
That is not edgy. That is not edgy. That is like actually disgusting sexual stuff. Do I have to bleep that word? I'm not gonna. If I lose monetization for this, I lose it.
Now, it might have been easier to believe these were just bad edgy jokes if you didn't also support an artist at the time who made Lollipop. Mr. Beast responded by saying, I've become aware of the serious allegations of Ava Tyson's behavior, and I am disgusted and opposed to such unacceptable acts. During that time, I've been focused on hiring an independent third party to conduct a thorough investigation to ensure I have all the facts. That said, I've seen enough online and taken immediate action to remove Ava from the company, my channel, and any association with Mr. Beast. At the time of recording, this is Mr. Beast's only response to all of the allegations. Now, what's even crazier is that this image that was labeled by Shadman as a illustration can be seen in a Mr. Beast video, where Mr. Beast actually looks at it. Yeah, this Shadman art, it definitely stands out for the wrong reasons. Like, if I saw this poster at my friend's house, I'd be like, dude, what the fuck is that? Like, why do you have that on your wall? The bottom line is that Tyson is a fucking freak whose behavior stretched out for a pretty long period.
I have something that you could possibly maybe consider P-O-R-N, whatever. Right here, but it's an adult and it's not a human. It's a robot, but it's definitely an adult because this Ghost in the Shell. She's got a bunch of wires coming out of her, and it's only showing her ass and her tits, but it's not really showing anything. Like, it's not hard to not be creepy, man. Just don't be creepy. Just don't be a PDF file.
Period of time, and he found a passion in grooming minors. And we're not just talking about giving them haircuts. Get it? Groom?
Hey, that really sucked!
Mr. Beast was also present in the Discord server leaks, which again had Tyson and others talking in the same server where hentai and prawn were allegedly shared with minors. Now, it's very important to say that I have not seen any evidence of Mr. Beast engaging in the same type of degenerate behavior. However, all this information was out there. It's hard to believe Jimmy would be completely ignorant on all of this stuff in regards to one of his closest friends, which makes his response seem like Tyson was only booted from the company now because this has become a massive scandal. In other words, it's more likely, in my opinion, Jimmy knew to a certain extent the interests of Tyson and did nothing about it. I suppose one could argue Jimmy was just trying to be a good friend, but some friends are worth sticking up for and others aren't. Now, having one of your closest friends being outed as a degenerate with vast amounts of irrefutable evidence is pretty hard hitting. Given how Tyson was involved in Mr. Beast's videos, it also retroactively ruins a lot of his content for me. To rewatch some of these old videos and know that one of the people in them is just attracted to minors and talking to them inappropriately, it's very alarming stuff for the biggest channel to have someone.
I think the latest, I don't even think it's the latest video anymore. I think the video that has the two people in the bunker underground, I think that had Ava Chris Tyson in the video, and they cut around Ava being in the video, and that's why it's so weird and cut up, and they're adding in everything in post, and it seems like they hired the two back so that they could reshoot some scenes or add some more scenes into the middle to make it more fluffy, I guess. That's what it seems like. I think that they had to edit around Ava Chris Tyson.
So close to the top who could be in a position where they could do some pretty reprehensible things. But the Jenga tower doesn't collapse after you remove just one piece. Ava Chris Tyson's controversy put Mr. Beast's image and brand in a weakened state that softened him up for another bombshell and a second plane to hit the tower. Enter Dogpack404, who posted the expose video, "I worked for Mr. Beast, he's a fraud." Right now sitting at 12.5 million views in just a couple weeks. Now that's a pretty bold title, Cotton.
Let's see if it pays off for him.
Prior to watching, you might assume this is some young kid chasing clout trying to expose the biggest YouTuber with accusations that really don't hold up, except the claims made are substantiated. Also important to note that Dogpack says his videos are not monetized, which makes them and his claims appear much more in good faith. He's not profiting off of this content. This is for educational purposes, as he says. Dogpack, having worked for Mr. Beast.
But that's not completely true. Now his name is going down in history as either the person who tried to take down Mr. Beast or the person who took down Mr. Beast. I'd say that's pretty valuable.
Beast has many internal connections with other people who have worked there, and
Not saying I don't believe him, by the way. I'm kind of more on Dogpack's side than Mr. Beast, because I just don't like Mr. Beast, and I think that a lot of the things that people are saying about him being a piece of shit and evil is true.
Anonymously, other employees have corroborated the things Dogpack says. Bro, I worked there for not even 5 days, and Chris was talking about his love for Lollipron and talking about his Discord where they shared it. Okay, not to go back to this, but like, here's the million-dollar question. If you're into that stuff, why would you tell people? If it's an open secret, this obvious.
No, keep telling people. I want to know about it. I really want to know about it. Because I'm going to tell everybody. So keep saying it. Keep telling people. Keep letting it slip. That's how people found out about it.
In the company, then it's very hard for me to believe that Jimmy would not know anything about it. But the major points of Dogpack's video reveal some pretty damning evidence about Mr. Beast's content and the questionable ethics behind it. He points out how Mr. Beast's content is aimed at earning the trust of children as a means to exploit that for views, subscribers, comments, and to sell merch and candy. Trust Mr. Beast and you could win it big. Now, one of the things I really liked about Mr. Beast's content is that his videos felt real. When Jimmy would post a video like counting to 100,000, he would actually do that shit. Surviving underwater for 48 hours or whatever it was. You know, he established himself as somebody who did what the title of each video said, and this has been a cornerstone of his brand and popularity. Because when you're telling people you're giving away all this money, prizes, cars, islands, yachts, etc., if it ever came out that you lied about that shit or deceived people in some way, that would look really bad. The most damning part of this section of Dogpack's video is about Mac, a contestant who's appeared in several Mr. Beast videos over the last year, and the first 3 he was in, he failed to win any of them. So Mac was a recurring character that people loved, and they hated watching him fail. That is until a month ago, Mr. Beast uploaded World's Deadliest Obstacle Course, in which Mac had one last chance. He was the sole contestant in a challenge to win $800,000. This video and the story behind.
What kind of obstacle course was that? Like that was nothing. That was nothing. If you've played like Mario as a child, you could beat that obstacle course.
It is fantastically edited. It's emotional. It's like a real redemption feel-good type story. You've lost so many times. Are you gonna win this time? What are you gonna do with the money? Near the end of this video, there's a montage of his previous failures juxtaposed with his imminent victory, and it was like movie magic, except it was fake.
This whole room is fake. This contestant is an actor and a secret employee at Mr. Beast. They had him dive through this fake door twice. This line is scripted. This action is scripted. In fact, pretty much all the videos with Mac are scripted.
Which pretty much ruins every video Mac is in and the story that they tried to tell in these videos. He wasn't just some random guy who became friends with Mr. Beast. He was chosen specifically. He used to work on another channel that was pretty big and had been working for Mr. Beast prior to appearing on videos. And it's like, you expect stuff in Mr. Beast videos to be over dramatized, but the broad strokes, the overall story you're trying to tell me, I expect that to be true, not scripted. Because if it was, if this is just your friend and you're scripting his failures and his success, I wouldn't.
Yeah, it's one thing if it's like a random guy from like Minnesota and you keep bringing him back for videos. And it's another if dude is actively in your little circle and you keep putting him in the videos, because he's actively, when not doing these videos, gaining a lot from you, a lot from Mr. Beast. He got a lot from Mr. Beast, and then you know, rewarding Mr. Beast by being in the video, and that helps Mr. Beast. It's so gross. The only thing that's gross about it is that it's basically for children, and it's all lies. If one thing like this is a lie, it's all lies. It ruins the whole thing.
Watch the video. And if these videos are fake and scripted, that begs the question, how many others are?
Yep,
That was
all
the
of them.
problem with
No.
like prank channels back
I
in
don't
the day.
even care.
If they faked one video, how many others did they fake? This calls Jimmy's persona and content into serious question. Mac has been living in a 6,000 square foot multi-million-dollar mansion, and when he wins this final challenge, you're meant to think, wow, what a stand-up guy. He deserved that. He's gonna spend the money on his friends and family. I feel good. And I hate feeling good based on a lie. You see, Mr. Beast promotes the idea that he casts random contestants in his videos, and there's nothing wrong with having your friends in a challenge where they can win money, but what is wrong is not disclosing that, not telling people that Mac has worked at Mr. Beast.
I don't even care about that, but don't make it seem like it's a random guy. You know what I mean?
Before he comes on to do these challenges. Mac was also a big player on the Airac channel before he left that, and then a short time later showed up on Mr. Beast's channel. So learning that he was basically an industry plant by Mr. Beast is pretty devastating to Mac's story as it was presented in.
When you get to a certain level, everything's an industry plant. And at Mr. Beast's size, there is no way that he's not being manipulated by the government in some way. Because when you get to a certain size, throughout the history of the world, basically, but the United States, let's just zoom out or zoom in just a little bit to the United States. The history of the United States, the government has always meddled with the famous people. Mr. Beast is the #1 YouTuber. He finally got himself to that spot. T-Series doesn't count.
In Mr. Beast's videos. Dogpack points out other examples of videos being faked, like the 7 days stranded at sea.
You can clearly see there's no one in the shelter. These are their empty beds. But after a hard cut, magically 5 people are awake, and 2 of the boys have bright yellow raincoats that they didn't have when it rained on day 2.
He points out multiple examples of friends, family members, and staff of Mr. Beast being picked as contestants for videos. Once again, shattering the illusion that these are just random subscribers and that you too, you could be in a Mr. Beast video as well by subscribing. Rigging game shows or scripting them doesn't just rob the content of its entertainment value, it's also illegal. Mr. Beast clearly has the means and methods to ensure his competitions are ethical, real, and fair. And I think ethical, real, and fair are much more interesting than fake, scripted, and rigged. The next section of Dogpack's video covers Mr. Beast's history of illegal lotteries. Now, I thought it was a nice touch to have a clip of PewDiePie call out giveaways for subs. That was also very compelling to hear one most subscribed YouTuber indirectly condemning the behavior of another most subscribed YouTuber.
So over the next 7 days, I'm going to be giving 1,000 random people that subscribe a free Samsung Galaxy S24.
How is this legal? I don't get it. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel.
All you have to do to enter to win one of these phones is subscribe.
It's a scam. Holy shit.
But Dogpack's points on illegal lotteries are pretty much irrefutable. That's something Jimmy did and did fairly often. It's also incredibly deceptive and a scam if you're selling t-shirts under the premise that they're all going to be signed by Mr. Beast, when members of his crew are signing the shirts for him. Once again, a few bad apples ruins the bunch. If just a few of these signatures are faked, that makes all of the signed shirts much less valuable, as the legitimacy of their signatures can't be verified. Again,
what was that? I didn't even know about that, the fake signatures. What? And it was like right in front of the camera. Did nobody notice it? Did nobody care? I'm sure somebody in chat noticed it and they deleted that immediately.
Again, we'd all like to believe Mr. Beast makes his money through charity to then reinvest in more charity. But the truth appears to be that part of the money he makes is essentially selling gambling to kids.
Illegal lotteries targeted towards children and selling fake signatures. I mean, Imagine if any other YouTuber was caught doing this.
Did I mention I love loot boxes? It's the same tactic. Buy a shirt and maybe you'll get a PS5 or something worth hundreds of dollars. Like, isn't this the same idea behind Counter-Strike crates? So it's pretty insane to
No, it's not, because Counter-Strike crates only cost like I don't know, is it $10? I don't know how much. And these are like, I don't know, $20, $30 that are going to kids. I don't know. Counter-Strike is a rated M for mature game. Mr. Beast is making content for kids. Very, very different. Mr. Beast, what he did was worse than the Counter-Strike stuff, in my opinion. And I think it's almost, if not, it is objective.
to me that there was never a huge story about these illegal lotteries, or maybe we just missed it all. It's not looking good for Mr. Beast, I'll tell you that much. I think it's safe to say that using illegal lotteries to promote and profit off of gambling directed at kids, you know, it's a little unethical. Fundamentally, it's just a scummy and legally bad thing to do. It's why you're supposed to include the phrase, no purchase necessary. You know, the point of a lottery that you have to pay to get into is that the person running the lottery is supposed to make more money than whatever the worth of the prizes are. Mr. Beast is the one hosting the lottery, so he's the one who benefits the most from these. And again, yes, Mr. Beast has done plenty of great and charitable work, but if he's funding part of that charity with illegal lotteries, shouldn't we question that? Like, you could argue the ends justify the means, but I built a children's hospital with the millions of dollars I made selling heroin.
You did that act, man? Based.
Am I a good person? Dogpack also calls out Feastables, Mr. Beast's candy company, and it's interesting to connect the dots. What I'm starting to notice the more I look at Mr. Beast and his tactics is that he seems far less genuine and much more strategic than I previously thought. What are two of the most profitable ways to make money off kids? Candy and gambling. Fuck yeah, combine the two. Now, Jimmy has promoted Feastables.
This is the best video that I've seen on the Mr. Beast drama so far.
As a healthier alternative to Hershey's, and it turns out the candy has more calories and sugar than Hershey's, which could also be considered false advertising. I mean, we're waiting.
Not considered. It is straight up 100%.
Through sketchy swamp right now. Dogpack is essentially saying that Jimmy is using childhood obesity as a platform to advocate for kids to buy the good chocolate, his chocolate, the stuff that won't turn them into tubby lard butts. Also concerning is Beast Burger, so, you know, candy and fast food.
Beast Burger was just a complete disaster. I tried a Beast Burger. It was disgusting. Like, I'd rather go get a Sonic, double quarter pounder at like 9 o'clock in the morning.
Are the chosen avenues for products Mr. Beast wants to make. Also, he recently announced like a new toy brand, again with the chance of winning something cool. Wow, this is the rarest toy you can get. I feel like candy, fast food, gambling, you know, these are your chosen avenues for products Mr. Beast wants to make. There are serious questions about companies whose product is designed to be as addicting to consume as possible. Super Size Me, anyone? When consuming more of that product is blatantly unhealthy. Also, Mr. Beast labels
Super Size Me was a garbage documentary.
Feastables as the world's best chocolate bar.
The best tasting chocolate ever made by mankind.
And he constantly shits on Hershey's in his promotional material.
This is my old Feastables chocolate bar. And as you know, it tastes better than a Hershey's bar.
Doesn't everything taste better than Hershey's?
Is anybody else surprised that Hershey's hasn't filed a lawsuit or anything? I mean, oops, I shouldn't have said that. I should not have said that. So Dogpack's 50.
I hated that. I hated that so much. Because it felt that felt like somebody was knocking on a door over here, and there's not a door over here. Freaked me out. I hate that sound effect. Everybody uses it.
54-minute exposed video offers some pretty damning allegations that look extremely hard to refute, and they attack the brand and image many people, myself included, have come to believe and associate with Mr. Beast. I don't know if it's possible for me to look at him the same way I did before this video, unless he comes out with some even crazier evidence that he's done nothing wrong. I feel like scraps of all this information have been out there for some time, but when it's all packaged together in a single crisp, scrumptious video, it's way way easier for the layman to digest.
MrBeast just uses gambling psychology to exploit young children for profit. He's just become the first casino where the currency you pay with is attention.
To sum it up, Dogpack was very thorough, careful, and methodical with what he said and showed. So with even more damning allegations reaching the mainstream, the viral effect was in full swing, and so is the cover-up. Here's Dogpack on Twitter posting a screenshot of one of 2 cease and desist orders he received. When you open a really big can of worms, you ain't getting all those worms back in there, partner. Not only are your statements about MrBeast and Jimmy Donaldson untrue, they also violate the clear, binding, enforceable terms of your confidentiality and non-disclosure agreement. Then prove it. You have all the footage, but instead of posting any, you've just been deleting more. Yeah. Why prove your innocence with your own receipts when you can threaten people with legal action and strong-arm them into silence? Dogpack has also revealed that other MrBeast employees are telling him that Jimmy wants to hire private investigators to find anything they can to
think there's a lot more stuff that happened and is still happening around MrBeast, and this is the only way they can go without letting the other stuff slip. I think that's what's happening, because like otherwise, what is he doing? Why is he doing all this? Why doesn't he just come out and completely change everything and apologize? Because it's not everything.
Discredit Dogpack and attack his character? How are you supposed to address a controversy? Hey, yeah, we screwed up these things, we fucked up, but we've been doing X, Y, and Z to improve on this, and we haven't done it for a while. That defense can only go so far as your actions show. If you kept on doing these illegal lotteries and fake game shows, even as recently as 1 month ago, then you haven't really changed your behavior. And an apology isn't really going to work. Dogpack has also been attacking MrBeast's philanthropy efforts for being more for aiding private interest and boosting MrBeast's image than actually doing anything good. If these allegations are also true, then it's even scummier for Jimmy to use other popular content creators to promote a charity that is more focused on the interests of the charity rather than the charitable act itself, rather than the good it's doing for the planet. But all that stuff is mostly just alleged for right now. So MrBeast's team is in full crisis mode, attempting to silence as many people as they can, mass deleting comments, utilizing 2 separate law firms to send out cease and desist orders as intimidation tactics. You know, things an obviously innocent company would do. I hired 100 lawyers to threaten my haters with lawsuits, and if they can beat me in a trial, I'll give them a Tesla. Now, a YouTuber Upper Echelon has posted 2 videos detailing the cover-up, and again, those will be linked in the description. But as they say, one lie begets another. In a company who's willing to engage in shady practices to make money, yeah, I can see how that same company would do shady things to cover up other shady things. In this video, Upper Echelon has revealed that thousands, tens of thousands of comments are being scrubbed from MrBeast's latest video, and he is editing other videos as well. Remember the tipping the pizza delivery guy video where the Chadman poster was seen? Yeah, that's been cut out of the video.
This is not how you respond to your...
I remember watching that. I watched that video when it was uploaded. That was around the time that I started watching MrBeast. Around the time that I stopped. Ooh, when did I stop watching MrBeast? Right before Squid Games? I think that's when a lot of this started happening. That's when a lot of this started snowballing. It started as a little snowflake around this time of Squid Games. Some stuff started coming out. A little bit of drama here, a little bit of drama there. Then it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. Because that's about the time I remember hearing about the Shad stuff, I think.
Your predatory media empire falling apart if it's not actually predatory.
Now, checking MrBeast's latest video, it's hard to tell what the like to dislike ratio actually is. The dislike extension is not always accurate. However, Keemstar posted what he said was the actual like-dislike ratio from MrBeast's studio analytics. And I'm sorry, but I don't really trust it. This would mean that the current controversy is...
Yeah, especially when YouTube is definitely involved with MrBeast and they don't want these dislikes to show up. MrBeast doesn't have to do anything if YouTube themselves want to remove these dislikes.
having literally zero impact on the amount of dislikes. This is just further proof that removing dislikes was and still is the worst decision ever made in the history of mankind. Hey, remember when Dr. Disrespect edited the word minor out of his tweet responding to the Twitch ban? Yeah, I get similar vibes when you're cutting the part of the video with the Shadman poster in it. Similar vibes. I'm not saying anything about Jimmy again.
But what else is he supposed to do, though, at that point? You know what he's supposed to do? Tell everybody about it before you do it.
I'm just pointing out what's being edited and removed is pretty important. Upper Echelon said he worked with someone named Hoboon to scrape the comments from MrBeast's channel, and what he found is very interesting. He points out MrBeast's channels are using the auto mod feature to filter out and delete comments containing certain words like scripted, scam, or shadman. Now, obviously, since I don't run illegal lotteries on my channel, nor do I fake game shows, the words scripted and scam are filtered out of my channel. Like, if you try to post a comment with the word scripted or scammed, it's not going to show up. It's going to be filtered out for no reason. In a nutshell, MrBeast's channels are currently deleting and censoring tens of thousands of comments in an attempt to shield the young and impressionable.
Yeah, if you're telling people, hey, don't call my business a scam, or you're out of here, that's probably a scam. It's like, you call my business a scam, I'm gonna laugh at you. Because it's not. Mostly because I don't make any money.
Audience from the possibility that they're watching something fake and predatory. This brings us to the last part of the story, as it is right now. Dogpack's second video. I worked for MrBeast, he's a sociopath. This covers a different angle, arguably a more sinister side of the MrBeast empire. Now, I also found it interesting that despite this video getting like 8 million views in 2 days, it has suspiciously remained off of the trending tab. I could see why YouTube would not want a huge exposed video on their top creator, their golden child, to be on the front page of trending. Dogpack makes some serious allegations about some of the employees at the MrBeast empire regarding, what's a good way to put this?
It's raping time.
Yeah, stuff like that.
So I will just tell you, James, what will be in part 3, so you don't have to harass my people. It will be about serious allegations of sexual misconduct in the company and your direct involvement in covering up those crimes.
Dogpack alleges that Jimmy was involved in covering up stuff like that, which has yet to be proven yet. So he interviews a guy named Jake Weddle, who worked for MrBeast and was also meant to be the sole contestant in a video that never got uploaded. As
I think a lot of this runs like North Korea or China, where people pretty much know what you want to be done. Hillary Clinton does the same thing, the Clintons, where people know what you want. You don't even have to say anything. People know what you want, so they do it for you. And that way, MrBeast doesn't have to be implicated. He creates the environment and doesn't involve himself in that environment and say they're the ones who created it.
As we saw with Mac and other people on MrBeast, being the sole contestant in a video on a MrBeast channel is huge. That's a massive opportunity. But the video was never uploaded because it turned out really bad. And Jake basically talks about his experience making this video, which was like spending 30 days in solitary confinement for $10,000 a day.
Jimmy would come in every other day for like an hour. Sometimes he'd have a note from the director over the phone. That would really piss me off when I'm receiving some cash. Jimmy said,
Oh man, I have a cousin who is literally almost exactly like this guy, sounds like him, acts like him. So it's hard for me to get on this guy's side, even though I kind of believe him, but like, he's just kind of over the top. I'm not a fan of his personality. Best of luck to the guy.
can you say to the camera how thankful you are that now you can pay back your student loans? You know how hard it was to do a take of that and pretend to make it genuine? I don't want to have student loans. I don't want to be in a cage. But Jimmy's the guy with the money, and if you do what he says, he'll do what you want. You want your student loans paid off? You be in
this part that I believe.
You have power over people. When one person doesn't have resources and the other one does, and they hold it over your head, and you go, of course, yeah, I agreed to it. I needed it, of course.
And Jake basically is saying that
And I would have too. And that's what a lot of people think. Like, people wish that they could go on MrBeast's show so it could possibly change their lives. So like, if MrBeast comes up to you and asks you, hey, you want to be buried alive for 48 to 72 hours or $10,000, a life-changing amount of money, would you do it? I wouldn't do it. I would. I would probably. That's the problem. That's the problem. I say I wouldn't do it, but I probably would if he was right here in front of me.
Mr. Beast will hold his influence
And that's
over
torture.
his employees as a way to manipulate them into doing.
And like, what if you don't make it? You don't get the full amount that you signed up for, and you tortured yourself for basically nothing.
What he wants. It's not a casting couch necessarily, or maybe it is, but the idea feels similar. Make me happy and good things will come to you. Don't do what I say and you get nothing. Put yourself in this mentally draining situation so that I can make content about your suffering and how difficult this challenge is. Like I said, it's fine for Jimmy himself or his friends who agree to these types of challenges to do them because they know exactly what they're getting into. You know, when they go to a fucking island and stay there for a week, they've done research on the island. They've prepared supplies. But when you're bringing on people who don't know what to expect, who haven't planned, you can't really force them into situations like this. It's not ethical. It's also pretty goddamn alarming that there's actually an internal document which has a no doesn't mean no type of mission statement. No means please don't. What? Jake provides testimony on the working conditions at Mr. Beast Empire, the dog shit pay, firing people for stepping out of line, for questioning the status quo, highlighting how a culture of fear is used to get employees to do what they want.
I think Jimmy wants to be the best YouTuber. I think he is laser focused on one goal, and I think whatever he has to do to achieve that goal, he'll do. If I donate to charity, people can't say I'm shitty. If I give this homeless guy 10K, what do you mean I'm a bad guy?
Yeah, this is exactly how I felt about Mr. Beast, right? Filming charitable acts isn't inherently a bad thing, and Jimmy always got the benefit of the doubt because his content seemed so altruistic. But when we see deceptive, scummy tactics used to market unhealthy things to kids, covering up serious allegations, it becomes harder and harder to believe that the philanthropy and charity Mr. Beast does has also remained unblemished. Like, yeah, this is the one aspect of his business not tainted by any shady tactics. The video Jake was meant to be in sounds pretty horrifying mentally, depriving him of sleep by not turning off the lights.
I said, can we have nighttime hours? And they said no, because it would fuck up the time-lapse shots. The time-lapse of what, me sleeping? Or me not sleeping? I go, they're not turning the lights off. He goes, what? That's a war crime. We're not allowed to do that to terrorists.
Encouraging him to keep doing the challenge.
I wish he wouldn't have laughed like that because he makes it sound like it's a joke. But that's true. Like, we aren't allowed to do that to terrorists. I mean, we still do, obviously, but we say we're not allowed to do that to terrorists.
Even though he wants to get out by flashing money in his face. The whole don't take no for an answer kind of mentality is scary when it's a challenge like this where you're trapped in a room. And again, this is Jake's testimony, his version of the story, and we haven't seen the other version. But if he was told to run a marathon as part of the challenge, for somebody who doesn't already train for that, that sounds like torture, bro. I started track and cross country at the age of 3, did my first race at that age, and I just wobbled across the track. So I've been running for a long time, and even I struggle with going out and running 5 miles at times. Running a marathon is just an insane thing to ask of somebody who hasn't trained for that sort of thing. So Jake went through this type of experience as he had a carrot on the stick at the end of the treadmill. You know, a jump start for his career. Suffer through this and you'll get big rewards. Seeing how much Mr. Beast's audience loves Mac, I think Jake probably would have got a similar reaction if the video had been posted. But there is proof out there. Perhaps somebody will leak the footage from this challenge if Mr. Beast Studios hasn't already locked that shit down. I think a proper way to do challenges like this is to play to the strength of the contestant. Jake's a comedian, so maybe instead of a marathon, make me laugh. Tell me a funny joke, like King Kai. Anyways, the final part of this video concerns a masked man named Delaware who has, well, let's just say he's done the sex offender shuffle. This person was not only a brother-in-law of Jake the Viking, but had been featured in a Mr. Beast video wearing a mask and had worked at the company for some time. Who he has an offense on his record against an 11-year-old, and he's working with the top YouTuber whose audience...
Was it an 11-year-old? Because I thought it said like 1 to 11. I don't know.
Audience is predominantly kids in positions where they have an internal document highlighting no doesn't always mean no. I mean, pretty serious red flags. Like, you have to be doing something very wrong to let somebody from the sex offender shuffle onto the payroll. So yeah, really not looking good for Mr. Beast at all. I think that's a generous way of putting it. That's pretty much where the story ends as of right now. No known police investigation has been launched into Ava Chris Tyson. No charges have been made against Mr. Beast or anybody. No civil lawsuits. And I wager Mr. Beast is going to continue uploading as if nothing happened in an attempt to just power through this controversy. In conclusion, it's not looking good for Mr. Beast, man. Rome wasn't built in a day, but neither was it destroyed in a day. Jenga can be a long game, but if all the right pieces are pulled out, the tower will collapse. I really don't know how Mr. Beast is going to respond to all of these accusations or how this will affect his business and channel long term. He's currently working on Beast Games, a show funded by Amazon, and that's part of the story I haven't even covered about how people are being treated over there. Jimmy certainly has some explaining to do, though I'm not.
Amazon does not have a good history of treating their employees well at all. So this this Amazon Prime show with Mr. Beast, there's going to be some stuff come out about it, and it's going to be bad. I already know it. I just want all this to just crumble. I want it to all burn down. Tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of nothing happening to these people. And everything happening to people that I actually like, who do basically nothing. Everyone burned down Roseanne Barr for saying something that they felt was racist, even though it wasn't. But nothing's happening to these kinds of people.
Not sure what explanation he would give that would make what I'm seeing okay or excusable. The Ava Chris Tyson stuff was inexcusable, as is hiring someone on the registry. And here's the thing, you can't best the devil twice. You can convince me you're a great altruistic charitable person, but if it turns out you do some shady shit, it's extremely hard to use the same tactics to convince me that you are a great charitable altruistic person. I really didn't want to believe all the stuff that's coming out, but it's looking harder and harder to refute, and I wager this is not the end by any means.
I think we're if any one of any of that he just said in this video is true, then Mr. Beast is done. And I think most of it's true. It's just a matter of time. I think when it really starts to affect YouTube's money and Amazon's money, that's when we're going to start seeing the collapse. When the media turns on Mr. Beast. Right now, Mr. Beast is like the poster child for social media for all ages, including children.